That's why I'm eager to hear good ideas wherever they come from, whoever proposes them.
In all states, nursing home care is a Medicaid entitlement, but home care is not, in spite of the fact that it's less expensive, and it's what most people want. Middle-class America is unaware that their freedom is threatened. To receive Medicaid services, they can be forced into institutions in order to receive benefits. Well, America, meet the man who is leading the way to change it.
This bill, number 477, would allow families a choice to use the traditional alternative Medicaid offers through the use of nursing home facilities, or use the money to care for the family member at home, regardless of the level of care that is needed. If you ask the elderly who now reside in nursing homes right now what they want most in life, they'll tell you, I want to go home. I'm not asking you to change the rules that qualify a person for Medicaid. I'm certainly not here to ask you for more money for the program. All I ask is for consideration as to where those services are rendered, in a nursing home or at a home allowing the elderly to live their remaining years surrounded by their loved ones.
Each year, thousands of middle-class members and their families need long-term care and face the agony of forced institutionalization because of outdated Medicaid regulations. About 80% of seniors have at least one chronic health condition, and 50% have at least two, not to mention the tens of thousands of disabled young people. Have you ever wondered how you're going to pay for long-term healthcare services when you become too ill to care for yourself? Most of us, especially the middle class, will rely on the Medicaid program to provide our medical needs and care. But did you know that Medicaid can force you to spend down your assets and live in a nursing home? This could mean that you would have to sell your home. What if you want to live with your family and they are fully prepared to share their loving home with you long term? Medicaid, for the most part, doesn't allow that, so it creates a financial hardship on your family to do so. Joe Stango met this problem head-on when his mother Dora was suffering from spinal stenosis and his mother-in-law from multiple sclerosis. Joe and his wife built a house to accommodate both mothers so they could care for them in their home. In 2003, Dora's disability greatly increased, and so did the medical expenses, beyond what the Stango family could financially bear. According to the rules of Medicaid, they are forced to place her in a nursing home so her medical needs would be provided. Despite Dora's wish to remain home with her family, Medicaid would only pay for treatment in a nursing home. This is what Joe Stango did. In 2005, he began meeting with state legislators in Connecticut to discuss changes to the Medicaid program. He wanted Medicaid to include portability, meaning instead of the funds being directed only to nursing homes, they can be transferred to home care as well. In 2006, at Joe Stango's request, Connecticut State Representative Arthur J. O'Neill submitted legislation allowing portability of Medicaid benefits. Joe Stango ran a radio and TV campaign and collected hundreds of letters from families supporting and urging Medicaid portability. With his mother Dora in her wheelchair beside him, he testified in front of the Connecticut Legislature's Human Services Committee. Joe Stango's efforts are fruitful when he learns in April of 2006 that Congress made available a $1.75 billion federal grant to test using Medicaid funds for home care, not only in Connecticut, but in other states as well. They called this program Money Follows the Person. The Money Follows the Person, or in short, MFP, was unanimously approved by the legislature's Human Services Committee. In September of that year, the MFP was expanded to accommodate 600 more people. In 2007, Connecticut Governor Jody Rell announces another $24.2 million federal grant for MFP to increase the quality of care for more extensive needs in the home setting, including supportive services like unskilled care to help in the home alterations, and medical equipment. In February of 2007, Joe Stango and some dedicated supporters formed AMCC, Advocates for Medicaid Choice in Connecticut. One of the goals for the AMCC was to lift the cap on how many participants could benefit from MFP. It had been limited to 700 participants over a 5-year period. In April of that year, Bishop Peter Rasaza, Catholic Archdiocese of Hartford, Connecticut, announced his support of Money Follows the Person. He declares that it is a basic human right that a person should be able to choose whether they prefer to receive care at home or in a nursing home. Bishop Razaza and other religious leaders met at a press conference in Waterbury, Connecticut to announce their interdenominational support for lifting the cap on the MFP so more people can receive benefits in Connecticut. Joe Stango also wanted the state to fund an Age and Disability Resource Center, which would be a central source of information regarding Medicaid benefits in Connecticut. It was a hard pill to swallow when the Connecticut state legislature failed to lift the cap on the MFP, so it remained that only 700 people in Connecticut would benefit. Then, with a fresh year, Joe submitted a formula to the state legislature that would convert Connecticut's institutional bias program into a choice-centered plan. With the Choice Center plan, the patients and the families, not the government, would determine where the person would live the rest of their life. This became Senate Bill number 561. Finally, after compromise upon compromise, and appropriations, Senate and House Bill number 561 passed unanimously into law. Democrats and Republicans united for this cause, and Dora's hope became a reality. Why has this been so long coming? Let's do the math. Studies show the cost of a Medicaid-funded patient in a nursing home costs about $200 a day, while according to the State Department of Social Services, the same patient cared for at home costs less than $60 a day. With our nation's growing debt and the cost of healthcare rising, this is a real solution. It's just common sense. Dora's hope is the basic human right to choose whether you want to be in a nursing home or stay at home with a family who loves you. As Tony Orlando, the honorary national chairperson for Dora's Hope, said, Dora's Hope wants a Choice Center Medicaid program for all Americans so families can do what they do best, love and care for one another. I joined Joe because it's the right thing to do.